Hey everybody, it's Mature Monday. I am your lovely host, Kari Anthony, the CEO of iHeartBBW.com. And today we have a special guest, a longtime friend of mine and wonderful adult industry performer, talent. You do so many different things, so I just can't condense it down to one thing, but Joclyn Stone, everybody.
Hello. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is exciting for me. I had alarms and everything like, okay, you've got 4 minutes. And then, get everything done. You have to be there.
Thank you so much. But before we get started, I just wanted to give your little bio. The OC MILF, now in Las Vegas, one half of the popular podcast of Adult Film Star Network, and the beautiful bombshell of Foot Nights. Just a few things that Miss Joclyn Stone does, but you can find her on Twitter, Joclyn Stone. Yay! So give us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in the industry, and all the goody details?
I actually started in 2007 when the market crashed, and I was 37 years old.
What?
So yeah, in 2007, I didn't, when the market crashed, I come from corporate, and I lost my job like everybody else.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to lose my house, my car, my bank account, and all this. So I better figure something out quick. And yeah, I'm looking at everything. I'm a secretary. I've been a sales secretary. I've worked for construction companies. I've worked for a roofing company. I've done all of these different things. And I ended up in mortgage for 17 years. Mortgage helped crash everything.
Right.
So yeah, I was actually on the news walking out of Fremont Investment and Loans with my boss. And they're like, would you like to talk to us? And I'm like, get fucked. And get going.
I had actually just finished and was doing really well. Like, I was only a couple of years in the refinance industry. So mortgages, but on a different end. And so I was already in the adult industry, like dabbling. It was like a hobby for me. I had a couple of different jobs because I've always had like multiple jobs. I love to make money.
Right.
And so this was something I was super excited about. I was like, yes, I'm great at this. And then, and I was
crash and burn.
No. And yeah, so that on top of my day job was a bill collector, which I loved and hated. It was like such a love-hate relationship because like I hated calling people. Oh. Pause, just 1 second. We'll delete this out.
Mine just did the same thing. So I'm gonna grab mine while you do.
Okay, love you. I thought I took the ringer off. Clearly I did not. It was my partner. I was like, whoops, my bad.
It's on the calendar, honey.
It's not on his calendar.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I didn't put it on his calendar, but I should have.
That's funny.
But anyways, yeah, so I was a bill collector. Loved helping people resolve their debts in a way that was not the typical bill collector fashion. A lot of bill collectors are very aggressive and they make a lot of threats and just badger people that are already in debt.
Right.
And understandably so, because a lot of people just don't give a shit. They're just like, I never planned to pay this. But there's a lot of people out there that this was an opportunity for me to educate them, which is why all my jobs I've always excelled, because I just find ways that make me different. And for me, it was educating people on, listen, when your kid goes to college and they're looking at your credit as a way of potentially getting some sort of financial aid or any type of funding to help that great student's college career, wouldn't it suck if you had to tell your kid, I'm real sorry, but we don't qualify for anything because I let all this stuff go to wayside? And then other things were like people that wanted to venture into banking jobs or jobs that required that you have good credit. And a lot of people were shocked. They were like, I never knew that these things existed. And it was like, it doesn't matter to you now because you're in a home, but if you go to rent something, this could be an issue. So making people take a look at the future and value the future and the other people that could be affected by these financial mistakes that I knew all too well made me unique, and I loved it. But again, back to the subject matter, I hated it too because it sucked. People cussed me out on a daily. And
Right.
so, yeah, eventually the adult industry was my bread and butter. I mean, I was making more money in an hour than I was making in a week at my job.
Right.
So,
And see, when I stumbled across mortgage and everything, because I was on the back end, I wasn't real estate, I was mortgage. I became a mortgage funder, but I started as a receptionist through a temp service. And because I was sitting there, I was always motivated. Like, what can I do? I can't move, but because I'm chained to this desk, literally. But what can I do for this department or that department? So my days would go by really fast because I was always helping. And they saw my motivation and they're like, God, you could be taught anything. You know, do you want to work over here? We have an opening. And I got to pick and choose instead of just, you know, being in underwriting. It did not fit my personality.
right.
Funding fit my personality, very dominant. And yeah, I was handling millions of dollars of other people's money. And, you know, I had the old school calculator sitting there.
10 key.
And
I was telling somebody
yeah.
about that the other day because I used to work in accounts receivable, and I'm like, I went through like what a typical day was, and they were like, and I was like, yeah, 10 key. That's why every computer that I have has to have some sort of the little 10 keypad on there.
my laptop, you know, and it's frustrating. My laptop is a 17-inch. Why? Because it has the 10 key. But the issue with that, because I was like, no, this is the one I want. I have to have that. I have
Right.
to. But the issue is trying to get like a backpack or a case or something like that will fit a 17-inch, because most of them are 15 and 16-inch, and that's it. So yeah, I know exactly what you're freaking talking about.
Big problems. Probably what larger appendage people
Right.
experience.
Right. I have big toys. I need to
So
accommodate the big toys.
you've been in the industry since 2007. So give us like a rough, or you can just say how old you are, but like a rough age.
Oh, I'm 53. I started when I was
53.
37. Yeah.
That
I'm
is
50.
so awesome. You did say that. See, I didn't pick up.
Yeah.
I did not pick up. We got into
Well, most people are
mortgages, and it was like,
shocked. Most people are shocked when I say I started at 37. And the thing is that is the moment that the MILF was coming about.
perfect
So
timing.
I stumbled into this, and I came into it being the pasty white, chunky, tattooed older chick. And they're so used to, right? They're so used to these super skinny, there's a certain way that a porn girl looks, and they were all trying to figure out the MILF thing. And it's like, but you don't look that old. And it's like, I know, but I am, and I won't lie. I have never lied. My mom never lied about her age. So I was never taught that I should lie about it. It's who I am. It's where my wisdom, my knowledge comes from. All my years of working in corporate gives me that wherewithal in the adult industry. And I also know not everybody at the party is going to like me. Not everybody's going to want to fuck me. So I am looking like, what's that guy doing over there? What's this paperwork over here? How come you do this? How much does this actually cost today? And I started putting it all together, and there was a wonderful gentleman. I fell in love with this guy. His name was Richard Montfort, and he had all these awards for Wicked and Vivid, and he shot, oh God, he was all over the place. He took so many awards for these big, big, big companies. I ended up being in front of his camera, thank God, and we hit it off so wonderfully. And I told him, I said, I want to do that over there. And he goes, no models want to do that. And it was a PA position. And I said, I want to know how it works. just like in mortgage. I'll help you. How do you work? How do you work? How do you work? So I told him, to show him my value, I told him, I will work for you for an entire day for free. Give me a chance. Just give me a chance. If I can bring it up a level while working for free and not go, yeah, this fucking bullshit, I broke a sweat, you know? The next thing you know, I was doing behind the scenes interviews. He goes, it's hotter to have a girl asking questions. He handed me a camera, said, ask this girl questions. And I would ask hard questions. I wasn't just like, oh my God, how big are your boobs? What's the biggest dick you've had? You know,
tell us what one of your questions is.
Oh, I would ask how they would prep to be on set that day. What questions would you ask before you showed up here?
That's a good question.
Because nobody thinks about the fact that, yeah, they show up, they're going to, you know, have wardrobe. Or, will they have wardrobe? Will they not? Will they have towels? Will they have baby wipes? Do they have douches? Do they have enemas? Do they have all these different things? Let's see your bag. What are the 5 things that you put in your bag for you? Due to an epic fail on a POV shoot that I was doing, I ended up with cum in both eyes. I wear contacts because I'm blind as a bat. And I end up, when you blink, it swishes around. Now I have cum being pressed between my eyeball and my contact. I never thought to bring saline solution. I never thought that something would get in my fucking eye, let alone both eyes at the same time. I was in so much pain that I took out my contact and rinsed them out in regular sink water, praying to God I didn't drop one because I'm blind and I got to drive home. So, I mean, it was a whole thing from that point forwards. I always have a Visine bottle. I dump it out and I use that applicator to keep saline in. And that way I've got enough if anything happens. So,
you know, that's something that a lot of people have asked me about, like, why do I know so much about filming with companies, even though I didn't really shoot with that many companies, because I decided early on it just wasn't for me, and that's okay. And I'm like, because I'm a very detailed oriented person, and what's always made me good at my jobs before I got into the industry was that I need to know how everything works. Right. So I'm the model and the photographer. I'm the model and the videographer. I am the set designer and and when you think about all of the roles that make anything successful, and in this case would be our scenes, I think from everything from the moment of contact until the time that this scene is released. And that's why my release forms are so specific about what keywords I allow to be used when you're describing the porn that I'm in or the scenes that I'm in. I talk about how long the trailer can be and if it can show nudity. I talk about things like not being able to sell the content to a third party, or if you have an affiliation with a certain webmaster, that the content can't be used in conjunction with anything that has to do with that particular webmaster company or its affiliates. And people are like, what the hell? And I'm like, listen, when you've been in situations where you shoot with a talent that you have no idea is affiliated with a certain company, and you do a trade scene, so that means you're not paid. You've paid to travel, you've paid for testing, you've paid for your hair, nails, the list goes on.
Everything, yes.
Then you find out that the talent was all the while going to sell the content to the company that refuses to pay you to shoot. Is like, oh, hell no. So then you start putting shit like that in your release forms, that it's like, no, you are not going to come and get content from me on a trade situation only to turn around and to give it to someone I refuse to shoot for.
See, when content trades started coming about, and it was on the little video cameras that had the mini cassettes in them. Yeah.
The DV cassettes.
Thank you. I couldn't even remember. I have a whole stack of them.
Me too.
With all these videos and stuff. You have to plug it into your computer. You have to play it and upload it. And
it's worse than that. You have to have a FireWire cord that goes from the camera to the computer. Now, in the last 10 years, computers have evolved and they don't have FireWire anymore.
Mm-mm.
So you have to get a FireWire adapter or an
Yes.
older computer.
Yes.
And it's like, or you get one of those little cassette things that plugs into your new computers with a USB, but those are expensive. They're a couple $100.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's why I
taking it
haven't
back.
released any of that stuff. That's how I used to do it. And I was really picky because guys were like, oh yeah, you know, Joss, we've worked together before, so let's do content. And I started asking him, well, what are you going to do with it? And that turned into a whole thing because there was this one company that was going to pay me to shoot. They flaked on me. And then I found out why. And it was exactly what you just said, because they were going to have Joe Blow over here, who I'm friends with and get along with. And I'm like, oh yeah, we can do something.
Right.
He's telling them I'm going to get 5 girls to do a scene with me, which totals a full DVD is 5 scenes. And
Yeah.
they usually dwindle them down to 15 to 20 minutes. They were never 30 before, unless it was a bigger company. The smaller companies was about 15 minutes. And they were going to get me for fucking free. And I was like, oh my God. Nope. And from that point forwards, I did strictly streaming. I was on StreamMate for a million years. Since 2010, I've been on StreamMate.
Wow.
So,
me too.
yeah. And I still love it because they train their people not to ask for stuff for free. You get your douchebags. But I would always make my money, you know? And so I was reasonable with my rates, because I don't want just one guy to get a 15-minute show. It's $7.99 a minute. I want 15 guys to get a 30-minute show for $3.99 a minute. And I just keep stacking them up. And I've got such a vivid imagination that when I would go into a private show, I wouldn't ignore them. I would talk, no matter if I had my ass to the camera or not.
Right.
And if somebody else jumped in, because it was a group paid, I would turn around and say, oh yeah, little Joey's over here. Devin, you keep fucking that pussy and I'm going to suck Joey's dick. You like to watch me suck it. And I turned it into, by the time we were done, I was doing a full-on gangbang because of all the people that were in the room. And I'm visually, and these guys are like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, because I included every single one of them. I'm like, how can I make it just about Joey when Devin's here? Right. You know? So I would have to figure out, how can I include every single one of these motherfuckers in here? And yeah, it's being creative. I would also find different ways of never say no. So those would be my games, and it would keep me alert and, you know, kind of zeroed in. Like, oh, do you like anal? Oh my God, absolutely. I fucking love anal. Holy shit. But you'll have to take me to the exclusive room, because I want you to turn on your camera and I want to see all the toys that you're going to stick in your ass for me, sweetie, because that's fucking hot. I love anal. I want to watch you fist yourself. And they're like, wait, what? No, like I wanted you to, oh, sweetheart, that's not what you asked. You asked me if I like anal.
You
Yes,
didn't
I
say
do.
on who.
Right. Do I like receiving anal?
Learning something new.
Right? Here. It's how can you twist it? Also, no punctuation is so much fun. No comma will make the sentence a completely different sentence. No question mark. Did you just fucking scream that at me, motherfucker? You know, it's like, oh, are we going to fight? Are we going to fight? What are we doing here? You know? So we're going to play slap a hoe. Okay, well, you're the hoe.
I've learned that I've gotten really good at sound effects. So
I love sound effects.
So the funny thing is, I wasn't on StreamMate. I was on another chat platform, but I was on there and I forgot what I was doing, but I fell off the couch and like got back up, and you know, they're just like cracking up, right? And so I was like, walk, walk, walk. And the guy was like, one of the guys was like, that was so good. And then, so it just became like a thing. Like it just was a funny thing that I would do. And so now it's like, if I'm doing something, like I'll be slapping someone's butt and I'll be like, psh, psh, psh. And they'll be like, oh my God, you're so good at this. Do this. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yes. And I was like, I felt like the guy from Police Academy. That's definitely aging me, but remember the guy that used to always be like, wah, 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 you know? And I would just be like, how did I get here? How did this become my cam personality?
It's just being you, creating your brand, and the way you create your brand is by being you. And that's
organic.
Something you would do with your friends. You know what? Something that the people forget when they come into your OnlyFans or your StreamMate or whatever they are coming to you.
Right.
So you get all of me, bitch.
Not only that, but I feel like if they go into 20 rooms and they're all the same, hey baby, but you know what I mean? Like when you come into my room, you're getting me, which is something that I've obviously had to learn, because when you first start camming, you kind of turn into the online persona of being the robot. Sure, let's play with ourselves. You know what I mean? The Stepford wife.
And you are so dead on. You are so dead on. The Stepford
wife, like, they come in, they tell you what to do, and it's like, nah. I learned through the years, like, I'm the one that runs this show. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, for how long I want. And if I don't, the answer is no. And I've learned not to say no, because obviously that's a really bad sales tactic, is you learn how to, like you said, twist it around. I might not be doing the anal, but we're going to turn it around so that you're like, oh yeah, I didn't specify.
Right.
Do you do anal? You just said, do you like anal? Okay.
Use your
gotcha.
words.
Yes.
Words are fun. Words are our friends.
Reading is fundamental.
And then punctuation, you know, if you're going to be typing something and you want to be specific about it, then you need to put the question mark, the exclamation point, and all that. You leave your caps on to pull my focus, you are going to get my focus.
Right.
And the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to talk about your tone.
Check yourself at the door, please.
Right. Do not come in this bitch screaming at me.
Right.
I don't take kindly to that. You know, also those that I have so much fun with, because I have guys that like, oh yeah, you're old and you're fat. Yeah, dude. I own a mirror. Stupid.
I've been on a scale before, by the way. I do know what that looks like.
I can see myself. Hello.
Well, speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about confidence, and confidence not only in your body and your size, but also confidence in your age, because the whole purpose for this concept or this segment is a lot of people, especially in the entertainment industry, especially in the adult entertainment industry, think that aging is a death sentence. Right. And it's something that I've said over and over again, because if you look at people that are, you know, in their early 20s or just getting started in the business, they freak out about hitting milestones like 30, 40, and me, I'm going to be 50 in a couple of years. So I wanted to share that getting older for me has made things tremendously, exponentially, and financially better.
Right.
So
you don't get thrown off track by shiny things. Things do not distract you in such a way that you go dumb. You balance stuff out because you're not worried about making friends. You're worried about doing business and coming out with a good reputation.
Right.
So as long as you do business proper, and I always tell people, if you're going to do something, would you have the balls to stand in front of a judge in the court of law with your mother or the most judgmental parent in the audience behind you, and stand there and go, no, I knew what I was doing. I do porn, but I've always been ethical. I've always been, age appropriate and all of this stuff. There's certain things that, but I like to cross those lines because they're fantasy. So I
Right.
know that they're fantasy. I make sure that I don't do something that will hurt somebody mentally or physically if they ask me to. I always do aftercare if I break somebody's feelings, because I want to bring them back to where they belong before I release them into the society again.
Right. To the general public.
Are you able to do all of that? That is a different mindset than somebody that's new, worried about, oh my God, somebody said something bad about me. You know what? When
They're
I was
going
doing
to.
that video, I did have a zit on my ass. You know why? Because I'm a fucking human and I live in Vegas and it's 110. My giant fucking ass sweats. That's how it happened. Own that shit. Own it. Like, I'm a goddamn human being and shit like that. You telling me you never got a zit on your ass?
Right.
That's the way I looked that day. You want me to doctor my shit? No. I am who I am. If you don't like me, you can move along.
Right.
Because somebody's going to come through and go, okay, she was okay looking, but you know what? When I heard her talking, that was it. I swiped and then I came back.
Right.
And then I swiped and then I came back. And then
I found something where there wasn't a butt pimple.
Right?
Because that's not something that happens frequently.
The thigh gap was, this fucking big and all this stuff. And, another one looked like you could throw a hot dog down a hallway. And there's everything for you, baby.
Right.
You don't have to like me. I'm okay with that. And that's number one. That's number one. I am the age I am. And it's funny because I was born in the coolest year, in the coolest season. I was born August, so the summer of 1969.
Stop it.
Bryan Adams wrote a fucking song about that shit, all right? Nobody can beat me on that. Summer of motherfucking 69. So bring your judgments.
Yeah.
I make it fun.
For sure. So the question, were there any moments or experiences that made you question your path in the industry, and how did you find the motivation to continue?
Yes. When you get comfortable with something, change is hard. Change is fucking hard. Okay, I started and it was MySpace. Then all of a sudden it was Facebook. Then we've got Snapchat and we've got all these different things. We were talking about the DV mini tapes and everything. Well, now you can do stuff on your freaking cell phone.
Right.
So there's so many changes and so many different things. The change is frustrating and change is scary for everybody. So, and then I moved from California to Las Vegas. And I didn't know as many people as I thought I did. So that was a little scary and I lost my motivation.
Yeah.
So there's little hiccups that, your personal life can make you lose your motivation. And
For sure.
It's just taking a step back and going, hang on a second. Don't take too long. Don't fucking wallow in it.
Right.
Have your moment. You're allowed to have your moment. Have your moment. Just don't fucking live there.
Right.
And there's always something new. And if you listen to like your podcast, you're so educational. And then Adult Film Star Network, Rebecca and I, we do educational, but her and I it's black and white. We're so opposite, yin and yang. We are nothing alike. We are not supposed to be friends. If you break it down, who's your best friend? Her and I do not match at all. But we motivate each other in such different ways. And while we educate, we slap each other around verbally. I'm like, that's not how a fucking film set works. Are you kidding me? I went on set one time and it was in the middle of Compton. I am fucking white. This is not a safe zone for me. These guys knew it. They're like, stay in your car, call me when you get here. They walked out. 3 of them walked me inside and then had to walk me out after we did our scene. I didn't judge. I did nothing. I was just like, that was an experience. All right. They treated me like a queen. They were so wonderful to me. It just happened that their location house was in Compton. Okay.
If you've never been to Compton,
Google it.
what you see on TV is so fluffed. It's worse. It's worse.
Yeah.
Can you share some of the conceptions that people often have about the modeling industry, and what would you like others to understand?
Oh my God, you make so much money, Joclyn. This is actually a message in a conversation I had. You make so much money. I don't understand how you would have roommates or something like that. That just doesn't make sense. You should own like 5 houses. What people don't realize, okay, let's go 2 things. One, when we're streaming and somebody gives me a $1 tip, that's like throwing 35 cents at me. When somebody gives me $1, I say, thanks for the change. And I educate them immediately. Okay. So that's number 1. I said thank you, but I'm also educating you on what you just did. So I'm not saying give me more, but I just educated an entire room. Everybody thinks, oh, well, I spent $50. Yeah. And I got what, 12 out of it?
Right.
So watch your tone, because I'll educate a bitch. So then, and most of them are like, what? I didn't know. I know you didn't know, sweetie. It's like on MFC, every token, the chick only gets, what is it, 5 cents?
50 cents. Yeah, 5 cents or 5 cents. Yeah.
Same thing on cams.com. So you're literally throwing a roll of nickels at a bitch. That shit can hurt your feelings. So I'm going to educate you so you know. So that's a misconception. The next portion is we get royalties from our movies. And you just touched on that. When I go in and I negotiate $700 to fuck this one guy, I'm going to be in and out in about 2.5 hours, maybe 3, something like that. Low-end company, not a problem. I go in and I do the scene. I sign this release. Now, you were just saying how you say you're not allowed to sell it or release it on a certain website. You're not allowed to sell it to a certain company, that type of stuff. So if you hired me and you're paying me, you're just going to pay me for that day. And I'm going to sign your model release. And it's going to say, you know, you're going to put it on your website as well as 3 other websites. So, and I have nothing to say about it. It's like everybody watches, what is it, When Porn Ends and When Porn Ends Too, those documentaries. They're loosely based. But the thing is I've got friends who no longer perform. They're behind the camera now. And one girl flipped the fuck out. And she goes, they put me on this shit. And I said, yeah, but you signed the release. You don't own that image of you. They own that image of you. And she can't make a penny off of that documentary. I don't care how well or how bad it does. She will never get recognition. She will never get a penny for it because she signed that release. So even though I'm on more than 50 box covers, it doesn't mean shit for me or my bank account. It means shit to them though, because they're fucking cashing in on my mug.
It's the same concept as awards. Like, people go all crazy about awards, and I'm like, you don't get paid.
Right.
They're like, oh, but you get this, you know, diamond bracelet. And I'm like, it's a cubic zirconia. It's not real diamonds. And I don't need cheap jewelry. I have plenty of that. Like, it's not even like true recognition from your peers, because it's all based loosely on who has the most amount of followers, who's a supporter or a sponsor, who's the brand ambassador of a particular company. Like, again, this is one of those moments where knowing how everything works, the politics in front of the camera and behind the camera, is so beneficial. And it's why I won't do another awards show. Like, people ask me all the time, why don't you do another BBW Fan Fest? And I'm like, because I don't want to pit models against each other. I want to do things that empower our community and help make money. Awards don't do shit at the end of the day.
They don't do anything. And there's a lot of things with what you just said. There's so many bits and pieces, because that that award that they actually take, the AVN award that they take with them. Did you know that as soon as they go in the back and take pictures and stuff, they give it back? And it does not have their name on it. And if they want one with their name on it, they have to purchase it. My friend that I was just talking about, because she was so well known, she had 9 awards, does not have one in her house because she's like, I'm not fucking begging you for one. Kiss my ass. I will not pay for that shit.
Right.
She even got inducted in the Hall of Fame, AVN Hall of Fame. She's like, yeah, suck a dick. I ain't showing up. She's like, whatever. What are you trying to tell me, that I'm old and I'm done? Why are you thinking of me now? I'm filmed in 10 years. Leave me the fuck alone. And where's my other 9 awards? Don't try to give me a 10th when you haven't given me the first 9.
Right.
You know? And I know a couple of people like that. I've got a male director that, you know, he started in front of the camera, started doing POV and all this stuff. And he's a well-known director now. And same exact fucking thing, where he doesn't have any of his 7 awards. It does not up your value at all. Not at all. It will not make your OnlyFans go higher. It will not change your placement in Pornhub. It doesn't do shit for you. Now, but let's also take a couple of things. If you don't believe this to be true, let's go ahead and look at how the industry has reacted to a few different things because of AVN. AVN ignored gay. Gay did not exist. They only believed in pussy and penis coming together.
Pussy.
And that very skinny pussy, very
heterosexual pussy.
Right. So the gays started getting pissed and they're like, fuck you. And they started GayVN.
Which was better than the AVN. I left AVNs this year. I just went to GayVN.
See, and GayVN is way better, because they learned from the other people's mistakes. Those people to this day still have not learned from their mistakes. So then you turn around and you look at it and go, okay, well, GayVN started doing their own, and the name super slap to the face. So then you've got Urban X. Why do you have an Urban X Awards? Why? Because in AVN, they don't believe that Black people exist. So they had to leave and go create their own. But I have been at Urban X. I have been invited and at a table and they included me. So why didn't AVN include them? Their AVN creates that divide and people don't realize it. And then you have the T Awards, which was the Tranny Awards, Trans Awards, and now it's Trans Erotica Awards, TEA, so the T show. And because they acting like they didn't exist. They fucking exist. Stop acting like a whole group doesn't exist. So if you guys just Google the history of these things. Don't believe me. Do not believe me. Go look it up.
Right. It's why I had to do BBW Fan Fest. Before BBW Fan Fest, there were no BBW categories at anybody's award show.
Right.
It wasn't until we did BBW Fan Fest that people were like, that's a real genre of very popular porn. In fact, it's like one of the top 5 at best populated search in the search engines on all sites. So, hello. It's definitely something that the people want to see. The only thing that I experienced, you know, obviously I could go through a whole list of the reasons why I'm not doing another award show, but back then it was 2012, 2013, this whole like movement for self-love and body positivity hadn't really taken over society and social media. And so there were a lot of closet fat girl lovers that didn't want to be seen in public supporting our community or our genre of adult entertainment. So it was successful for a first time show. actually did very well considering. But I think if we were to do it again now that like a lot has changed in 12 years, it would be a lot more successful. But again, I don't want to do something that pits people against each other. You see the ugliest of people come out during award shows, and it's just, even people that win, people that lose, obviously we've seen, online meltdowns and people lose their shit.
Right.
But even people that win, it's like they get this little finger up their ass and just start acting differently. And it's like
they're better.
Serious.
And I've got more fans than you, so because they've nominated or they voted for me and all this stuff. I want to see you. I want to see the wonderful you. I don't want to see the bullshit. I don't want to hear your blah, blah, blah sales pitch about, oh my God, vote for me. No.
Right.
No, I don't.
Same.
I don't know. I don't want to. And anybody that
Show
does
me your
that,
stats.
I'm like, what
Show
is
me your
that?
stats. Don't vote for me. Let my sales stats represent that you vote for me. And I say that all the time. You want to vote for me? Go buy my clips. Join my fan site.
Right.
Book me on cam for an exclusive show. That's how you put me at best BBW, because if I'm making more money, then hello, that to me is the formula. But I've always been different. I never wanted awards. In fact, my only award that I ever accepted the nomination for, because a lot of times they'll send you, do you accept the nomination?
Right.
And as a performer, so a lot of people are like, you really haven't been nominated for that much. I decline them all the time. But 2011, I won BBW of the Year from Urban X and Best Adult Podcast. And I only did it because it was Urban X and because I wanted to support their genre, or their award show, because it was sad that they had to come up with that. We had to do BBW Fan Fest, and in conjunction Urban X had to do something to support people of color and other genre, other ethnicities and cultures in our industry. And I was like, that sucks. Yeah, I'll support you. And
I did exactly the same freaking thing. And it's the only time ever that I've walked a red carpet was at Urban X. I gave them so much respect because I'm like, you guys literally got beaten down like you were nothing. And then turned around and said, you know what? Fuck that. We're going to do our own. And now I love it. I love Urban X because they had to fight for it. And I'm going to back up people that fought.
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking to somebody that I've known in the industry for a long time, and she says, a lot of new award shows came out after BBW Fan Fest did the BBW Awards. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And she was like, yeah, go look at the timelines. And I was like, that's awesome. I feel very proud of one. I'm always willing to go to fight and go to battle and put my career, which when people say like, how did you get to where you are? Trust me, I am very stingy with the punani. Okay. The platinum pussy is on lockdown. There's a lot of male talent and a lot of people in this industry that didn't get to experience the platinum. It's because I'm willing to take the risks, make the sacrifices. We've talked about this. We talked about this in Chicago where we were talking about like, things that make you different. One thing for sure, two things for certain. I don't care what people have to say about me. There's a difference between someone sharing their version of events of a situation that took place with you and the truth. Right. And so how you respond to those things, kind of off topic, but along the same lines, how you respond to those things is what determines your reputation. I don't engage because there's usually one, I'm not going to spill your tea in the midst of defending myself, which is often what happens. And so I respect, I'm not a snitch. I respect that, you want to say what you want to say. Cool. I know that I do things with good intentions and I do things with a whole heart, and I have the power. Let's not get it twisted for a second. I have the power to do other things. I choose not to do it because I know that other people are adversely affected by my choices, not just you. Sometimes, you know, people's families, their
Yes.
livelihood. I'm not willing to defend anything that you have to say to the point that I have to respond with an attack. And I would not feel well or feel good about myself or be able to look at myself in the mirror knowing that I totally took someone out of the industry or fucked up somebody's livelihood or outed them to a family member or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much more to think about when you're engaging in this type of behavior. It's toxic. It's just not, it's, I'm here to make money. And that shit don't make me
Right.
no money. Okay.
See, it's
So,
also you're taking it full circle and telling the actions. Now, with everything you just said, if you stood in front of a judge, the court of law, and your scariest family members behind you that are ready to take you down if you fucked up. So you stood your ground, you defended yourself, but if you turn around and lash out at somebody and go, oh, well, this person does this, why did you say that? Oh, well, I won the argument. No, 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 no. You still have to keep your character intact and your reputation intact. So would you, no judge is going to go, oh, well, you won the fight. So, okay. That's not okay. It's not okay to do something like that. Now I want to flip it.
okay, let's flip it.
There are times standing in front of a judge, you got your crazy ass family behind you. Why didn't you say something that needed to be said? Why didn't you stand up and protect someone that could not protect themselves? That is the same thing, because you may out somebody for bad behavior or inexcusable behavior. There are ways to do it, though. You don't have to go psycho public, but you do need to have a conversation and you need to put stuff in check. So it can go both ways. Will you protect others? Because I'll tell you what, if I see you kicking a dog in the middle of the street, you damn straight, I'm going to hit you with my fucking car. It's that simple. So if I watch you going at somebody that's new, you're taking advantage of somebody, you are omitting valuable information, so this person can get affected in the long run, we now have an issue. I will try to do it quietly at first. But if you make me get psycho, it's because I did my due diligence. And now I can stand in front of that judge and my psycho family and go, I did this first, I did this second, I did this third, and motherfucker still didn't get it. So I made him pay attention to me.
Right.
And I went public. But I went public with showing my ducks. All my fuzzy little baby ducks are in a row, motherfucker. Now tell me what I did that was wrong. You know? And that stuff, so no, you don't out somebody because you just want to win an argument. You don't do that. You don't be shitty. That shows your character. I can see who you are underneath all the makeup and the outfit and the Botox and, you know, lifting weights. You can be hot as fuck and disgusting on the inside.
There are very popular thing.
I see people all the time. AVN was one of them, being at the bar and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. You know, and then all of a sudden I hear them talking and I'm like, oh God, I threw up a little bit in my mouth because you nasty. Like the stench is coming out of your mouth. There's so much fucking bullshit. People are listening. People are judging. But they're judging us. I'm being honest. Will I out somebody? Yes. I will give you 3 chances. And then I'll take you the fuck down.
Yeah. I respect that about you. For me, I don't get involved that deeply. So a lot of times I'm just kind of too many rows back. So I hear something, but it's not clear enough for me to have like an opinion or pick a side, or you know what I mean? Like, And I just stay out of that shit because I've been dragged into so many situations. Like we have something happening in our industry right now that is very unfortunate. But it's calling a lot of bad actions and bad situations to the spotlight that have been taking place in our industry since the beginning of time.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm glad that finally there's a spotlight on that bad behavior. And hopefully it lets other people know that we're not going to stand for it to continue.
Right.
But, you know, for me, it's like I said, I just keep myself, I'm so busy working on back end stuff that I don't know a lot of the things that are really happening, and nobody really brings it to me anymore because I've been like, I don't want to be a part of the drama. I don't, you know, and I've tried to go to battle for people and then became the enemy in the situation. And it's like, I just, it's so frustrating when you are a bigger advocate for someone else than they are for themselves. And
I will help those who help themselves.
Yes.
Now, if I help you because you didn't know, you honestly didn't know that the casting couch was not a thing, and you took on 5 guys because of that, baby, come here. No. We're not doing this. Let me explain to you why. Now, if you keep stripping off your motherfucking clothes, hopping on that couch, and hooking your ankles in your hoop earrings, bitch, I ain't saving you again.
Right.
Because stupid is as stupid does.
It's like the ambulance chasers, except they're dick chasers. And it's like, didn't he put you in a situation that you didn't want to be in and you complained about it?
Right.
What the fuck is you doing, you know, praising him on social media, or even we're not even going to get started on that. But
it's like I had and this is my normal life and corporate life, not my adult industry life. My big thing was guys are always trying to make themselves shiny, right? Like, oh, I have this job, I have this car, I have this. Okay. Oh, sweetie, if you want to impress me, like really impress me, put some of that money in my bank account. Go ahead.
Right.
Put it in mine. If you've got so much, you won't have a problem.
Right.
Just dump it in there because it won't phase you. Next thing, your shiny car. You want to impress me with your car?
Which is probably a lease.
Hand me the keys, right? Hand me the keys. Impress me with your insurance. Because insurance is hot.
Let me see your title. That's what I want to see.
Right? I want to see, go through the glove box.
I want to see the title. Do you even own this motherfucker? Like,
absolutely.
We need a credit check. So this is a great lead into what advice would you give to aspiring models who are just starting their careers and maybe navigating the challenge of the industry for the first time?
For the first time, ask a whole bunch of questions. When you walk in, what is it that I'm going to be doing? Is it a boy, girl, just penis and vagina? Or, you know, on gay, is it just, am I the top or am I the bottom? Am I receiving or giving? You know, ask the questions. Find out how long your day is going to be. Ask how many people are going to be on set. You know, how big is your crew? Because I work on a 6-man crew. And when we get new people in, I'm like, okay, sweetheart, I know this can be a little intimidating, but let me explain to you. This guy over here is sound. We have to be able to hear the stuff, you know, we have to have good sound, camera work. Instead of making you do everything 5 fucking times, we're going to go ahead and use 2 cameras at once so we don't blow you the fuck out, you know? And I break it down to them like that. And they're like, oh, this is actually a closed set. So is the director going to turn around and bring in a new friend or something that they've got? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, Platinum, come on, swing by and hang out. This isn't a hangout. We're working. So there's a difference. Is this a closed set or is it an open set? Because if it's open, it's a fucking free for all and anybody can come in. And that's a problem. Always ask things that you need, and then cover your ass. So
these are questions you should ask before you even agree to shoot, though.
Before you even agree to shoot. Also, who am I working with? I want to look this person up. So one, he may do things that you don't like, because I understand that. And I work in a huge gay/trans community and all this stuff. And I love my people and they are my people. But there are things out there and people out there that some people don't want to work with. Those are your choices.
Right.
I can't take that away because, oh, everybody should be accepting. I'm sorry, but I get to choose who I want to fuck, and you're not going to tell me any different.
Right.
So you always have that. The talent always has the power, male, female, or trans. They always have the power to go, no. This is not okay. You know, and if you walk away, if something goes down on set that you are not comfortable with, make an agreement in writing that you will definitely get a kill fee. And a kill fee is a really big thing. I didn't learn about a kill fee until I was in it for almost 3 years. And I used to drive 2 hours to get to set. So
Wow.
I'm putting in all of this time before I even get there. And then the dude or the girl or somebody, oh, they double book, so they're not going to be able to make it. We need to reschedule. You owe me 50% of, and that's what I was taught to ask for. I know a lot of times it's like $200 or something on the norm now, but I used to ask for 50% because I'm here. I'm ready to work. It's not my fault.
Right.
Give me half my money because I deserve it. So kill fees, stuff like that. But always cover your own ass. Never expect somebody else to cover it for you. Always bring extra bras and panties. Make sure that there's no labels or on your shoes. Nobody gives a shit about your Jordans. Okay?
Right.
So don't fucking show up in them. And a Victoria's Secret. Don't give a fuck. Don't care. Nobody wants to see the big old VS on there, you know? Nobody cares.
Your research.
Right. Do your research. Bring your own douches. Now, if they have some, keep yours. Use theirs.
Right.
If you like to have fresh breath, right, save a couple bucks. Also, be very smart about where you shop. Nobody wants to see labels and stuff. So create a wardrobe, a basic wardrobe at Ross. Go to the 99-cent store for your douches and your, there you go.
I heard BBW.
Fuck yes. But, you know, get all of that stuff in line. I Ziploc baggied everything, bra and panties and stockings or bra and panties, everything that matches.
Yep, that way you can quickly grab.
Neutral colors. They'll go with whatever they choose. Yep. Neutral colored shoes. And then I would always bring up, even if they had makeup on set, hair and makeup, I would always bring a brush, a comb, a couple of barrettes, maybe some hair ties, and a small makeup kit, just in case, just basic. Lip gloss, eyeliner, mascara, maybe eyelash glue. You know, what if the makeup artist leaves and your eyelashes, you know, droopy?
Dangling.
You need to fix that. So a prep kit, a go bag, as it were. For sure. A go bag. So, and my game was, if it came out of the Ziploc, it got washed and then put back. I don't care if I put it on or not. It got washed, it got put back. Because I don't know if anybody went through my bag. I don't know if people were touching stuff.
Or maybe your clothes touched something else in your bag that might have cum on it.
Right? Absolutely.
Or juice. Or something.
Bring a towel. I had my name stitched onto 2 towels. And I'd bring the towels with me. I would put them in the bottom of the suitcase because most of the time I didn't use them. But I actually went on a set that they didn't bring any towels and there were no towels there. It was an empty house that somebody was renting and it was the in-between. And there was literally nothing there. And I had to dry off with a dress out of my suitcase. was like a cotton dress. So I was drying off with that because there were no towels. There was nothing. So
they didn't have a PA like you to think about stuff like that.
Right? I have a whole freaking suitcase that I bring in all towels. We have a bathroom bag. I got it all. I got it all. So
don't doubt that for a moment. Safety pins. There's a whole lot of shit. Breath mints. Like, you just never know. Like, in one of my tips,
individual
don't eat before your shoot. You don't want to be smelling like onions, farting, have to go to the bathroom. Eat afterwards.
Eat after. Yeah.
Nothing was worse than being on set with someone who went and took a almost 45-minute dump, and the place stunk so bad because they turned the fans off and the air off because it made so much noise. So when it was time to start the shoot, I was like, fuck.
Oh,
like, I can't have a face of, oh yeah. I'm like,
why does it smell like dirty ass in here?
Yeah, it was terrible. I was like, dude, open the windows. They're like, they are open. I'm like, who did this?
Man, who did it?
I had Mexican food before I came here. And I'm like, the fuck? Rude? Because we know what that shit does to you.
Yeah, and it was probably Taco Bell. It wasn't even real Mexican food. It was Taco Bell.
I want real
and that's
Mexican
an
food.
Immediate evacuation of anything inside your body.
Let's make a trip to California. I was really disappointed about having to cancel my plans in August. But because I'm from LA, so my family's out there. And so I was really looking for, like, I had this whole like trip planned, and it was gonna be like this week adventure and blah blah blah. And it's like now it's like,
damn. It's true.
But I gotta come to Vegas too, because I gotta come see my girls. But
yes,
I want to say thank you for coming on the show and talking about being a mature, very well-versed and wise performer. It's always a pleasure. But before we go, I need you to do one thing for me and tell me about Joclyn'sGarage.com. What is Joclyn's Garage about?
Well, the way I chose the name, instead of Joclyn Stone XXX, I do own it, but that's not what I wanted my site to be. So what it is a whole bunch of, what do you put in your garage? Everything. I do so many different things. It could be a foot video. I could be sticking a wrench up Brittany Blaze's ass, acting like I'm a mechanic. Oh yeah, that's one of the default banners. I literally am putting a wrench in her ass. It could be anything like that. It could be BDSM. It could be straight fucking blowjobs, solos, whatever. What ends up in your garage? All your shit. So you got Easter and Christmas right next to fucking each other. You got all your crap. You got some of the stuff down on the ground that you don't give a shit about. And then you got some really good stuff at the top. Like, ooh, don't fuck with that. So that's Joclyn's Garage. It's my garage of porn and God only knows what in there. You could end up with some rants where I started losing my temper about something, and Miss Rebecca Love kept telling me, you need to record that. So I started recording some of it, and it's freaking hilarious because I'm like, wow, I really did go off on that, didn't I? But I meant it. So I don't take it back. So I throw it out there. You get to know me, my personality, all of that. My weird, unique wardrobes and stuff like that. My mommy dom type outfits. The fact that I have vintage gloves, and I've got like 5 pairs of those that you buy them like shoes. You got to know your size for vintage gloves,
especially when you have.
There you go.
I've
and
got
mine,
wings. Red Bull gives me wings so I can fly. So you get them up to your elbows, but they're not going any further because arm fat.
It doesn't go that wide, that high. It doesn't, because I got really high ones that keep going, and I'm like, wow, we're doing that now. Okay, but
my wings don't make me fly.
It's, but it's a little bit. It's a little bit of everything, and it is all me.
That's awesome.
And that's the whole thing, because it's my fucking garage. And if they want to come and visit my garage, God only knows what they're going to find.
Well, with that being said, go to joclynsgarage.com where you can find all of Joclyn's things. And let us know how that goes. Tell everybody where they can find you on the awesome internet.
On the internets.
It
is at Joclyn Stone for the most part on everything. The only one that I had to change is Instagram because they like to delete people, and that one is MS Joclyn Stone. So just at, I know, right?
Not Instagram. Oh, how dare they?
But everything is at Joclyn Stone. You know, my Fet Life is Joclyn Stone. Everything is just Joclyn Stone. So I kept it simple. I kept it basic. It's just me.
I love that. And I love you. Oh, big hearts. I got to get my heart right. There we go. Big hearts. I want to say thank you so much for coming on my Mature Monday. I just started this segment not too long ago, and I'm already getting people requesting to be on, which is really exciting. I didn't think it was going to be as popular. I just was like, I'm tired of hearing people say that, you know, you reach a certain age and it's game over. And I'm like, nah, baby, my game is just getting started, and I'm 20 years in because I started in 2005. So I am almost at 20 years. So trust and believe, I'm happier. I make more money than I've ever made. I've got a whole catalog of content. Like, sky's the limit for me.
Yes.
So it can be that for you as well.
Sky's the limit if you choose it. If you tap out because you hit a certain age, that's on you.
Well, and not only that, but the industry has changed. Like, maybe that was the case 20 years ago when you had to be hired by a performer by a producer, and you know, that was part of the process of getting into the industry. But things have definitely changed since then, and now you own your career. You dictate how you're being filmed and who you film with and where the content goes. Like, the power is in with the performers, and so nothing but sky's the limit. Right. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Joclyn Stone, episode 3 of Mature Mondays. You can find us every Monday, 7 p.m. right here on youtube.com/iHeartBBW. Make sure you hit that notification bell, subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, you know, all the stuff that helps our channel. And we'll see you next time. Bye.